On today's video, we're going to be going over my dividend portfolio over on Trading 212. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and comment on the videos to be entered into the draws that we do for every 100 subscribers that's here on the channel. I did another giveaway just this morning for 300 subscribers. So if you would like to get involved, then like the videos, comment, and thank you very much for your support. So let's get into the video. So the total holding and the dividends fund pie is £18,315.11. We're currently up by 16.9%, which is a total ROI of 2211 and 3 pence. So this is since last August when I started my dividend journey on 212. So about 10 months in so far. So I think this is some phenomenal results. So before we go into a full breakdown, we're going to go over the buys and sells that I did for the month of June. So the first buy that I was doing was Lord Debenture. So we made a couple of purchases of that this month. That's simply to up the weight that's within the pie. The second buy that we did this month was Gamma. Now this one is a strong position within my portfolio and I think they're going to have phenomenal growth going forward. They've also just done 165,000 share buyback this month. Again, I think there's like uncapped potential if they go down the plan of what they plan to achieve. So further ado, let's get into a full breakdown of what I hold inside this pie. So the first stock is Legal and General and their year-to-date change is 10.75%. I currently have £3,666 invested in Legal and General with 1,440 shares. My return on this is 12.7%, and these guys pay 2 dividends a year. They have just paid a dividend, which we'll have a look at the Excel sheet at the end of this video, and I'll break down exactly what I was paid this month. The second stock I hold within this pie is NatWest, and year to date they're up by 38.2%, which, like I said in my last video, it's phenomenal that these guys have been on some right growth. So that's great for the investors. I hold £2,858 in this holding with 560 shares. And my return rate is 21.65%. So I'm doing really well on this. And they pay a dividend of twice a year. Aviva is the third stock. And they're up year to date 32.51%. And the holdings is £1,790 and 63 pence. And I have 288 shares in this. And my return rate is 23.53%. And they pay 2 dividends a year. The fourth holding is Lord Debenture, and their year-to-date change is up by 13.75%. I've got a holding of £933 and 4 pence with shares of 93, and my return rate is 19.48%. And these guys pay a quarterly dividend, so it's 4 dividends a year. The graph was a little bit off on Yahoo Finance, so I don't actually know what happened there. There was a dip, but I don't feel like it was that excessive. But we move forward. The next one is GSK. My holding in this is at £1,177 and 20 pence. For year to date, they are up by 14.07%. And I have 84 shares, but it looked like I bought at the peak, but it's okay because we're dollar cost effectively. And I'm down by 2.03%, paying a quarterly dividend, so that's 4. Our next stock is National Grid. In year to date, change is up by 11.95%. My holding is £1,179 and 75 pence. With a total of 110 shares with a return rate of 8.35%, and these guys pay 2 dividends a year. My next stock is Gamma Communications. Their year-to-date change is down by 25.62%. Again, it's about justification as to why that happened, and I did do a full breakdown video on this stock. My holdings is £1,194 and 42 pence with 104 shares, and we're currently down by 2.13% with 2 dividends a year. The next stock is Tesco with a year-to-date change of plus 8.85% with a holding of £1,474 and 85 pence. And I've got 368 shares with a positive return of 12.09%. And these guys are paying 2 dividends a year. The next stock is 3i Infrastructure. Year-to-date change up by 9.61%. My holdings is £564 and 49 pence with 162 shares. And my return rate is 9.80%, paying 2 dividends a year. So my portfolio is quite finance heavy. So the next stock is Bunzl. Year-to-date change is down by 27.91%. Now again, tariffs absolutely murdered this stock, but it's a great opportunity to get shares at a cheaper price, which is what I'm taking advantage of next. The holdings is £973 and a penny, holding 41 shares, and I'm currently down 16.36%, and it pays 2 dividends a year. We've got Franklin Resources, which is Ben, which is year-to-date change is 6.1%. And the holdings is £427 and 97 pence with 24 sharings. My return rate is up by 14.31%, and they pay 4 dividends a year. And this is the only American stock that I do hold within this pie at the moment. I don't know if I'll add some in the future, but at the moment, with how much volatility is happening around the market, I'm strictly sticking to UK based ones really, but this one's an exception. And the next stock is Halfords, and the year-to-date change is 21.68%. My other holdings of £237.16 with 148 shares, and my return rate on this is 15.6%, and they pay 2 dividends a year. The next stock is Vodafone. In the year-to-date change, dropped by 25.3%. I've got a holding of £1,273.68. And I've got 1,642 shares, and the return rate on this is 10.59%. They pay 2 dividends a year. Vodafone have got a lot of exciting stuff going on in the background. They've had a merger with 3. They're doing a lot of business with AST as well, which is phenomenal because that's another stock that I do hold. But yeah, I have a lot of optimism for these down the line, and Vodafone's was my first dividend stock that I invested in. So yeah, I'm holding this for the long term. And the last and final stock is Greencoat UK Wind. The year-to-date change is down by 7.51%, with a total holdings of £563.64. I hold 462 shares, and the return rate is up by 1.78%, paying 4 dividends a year. I'm not 100% sold on this stock currently, and I do think my money could be used better elsewhere across the other stocks, so I am considering what I am going to do with this stock, but at the moment it is the position that I hold. So here's a little spreadsheet that I created, and each month I'll put in what's paid, and it tracks on the dashboard, and it shows a little line graph of exactly where I'm progressing year on year. So the month of June, we received 4 payments. June is normally a good month for dividends, and this month it was a really good month for myself. So I received a dividend from Tesco for £33.48. I received one from Gamma for £11.61. Legal and General, which is their bigger payment, which is £198.85. And my All World paid me £3.77. So again, £247.71 for the month of June, which is better than any month for the rest of the year. And so far for this year, we're up by £474.02, which is looking great. If you do like this pie, I will leave a link for it down in the description. And if you did enjoy the video, please give it a like. And leave yourself a comment, get yourself involved in the giveaways, whether it's constructive criticism, whatever you like, get involved. More videos that you comment on, the more chances you get inside the draws. And I appreciate your time for taking to watch the video, and I'll see you in the next one.